There's a long list we've all recited in our minds, maybe without even noticing. I don't want to be fat. I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be stuck in this job. I don't want to be like my parents. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to fail again. I don't want to be rejected. I don't want to feel this way. The words change depending on who we are and what we've gone through, but the energy is the same. It's fear dressed as focus. It's struggle dressed as self-awareness. It sounds like we're making progress, like we're taking inventory of what's not working, but really, what we're doing is rehearsing the very reality we don't want to create. When you place your attention on what's broken, what's lacking, what hurts, what's unfair, that attention becomes water for the seeds you're trying not to grow. And then you wonder, why does this keep happening? It's not because you're cursed. It's not because you're weak. It's simply because life listens to energy, not complaints. And your energy is constantly being shaped by what you repeat. So if all your energy goes to saying, I don't want this, you haven't yet created space for something new to arrive. You see, healing doesn't begin when you control the world around you. It begins the moment you pause and decide to trust again. Trust yourself. Trust life. Trust that you were never meant to suffer through your thoughts. You were meant to lead them lovingly. So today, I'm not asking you to build a mountain of confidence. I'm simply asking you to come back to yourself. Come home to the truth that's already inside you. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not a project that needs fixing. You are a soul that longs to feel safe again. And that safety begins when you stop using your mind to punish yourself. What if all those harsh thoughts, I'm not good enough, I'll never get it right, something's wrong with me, what if those thoughts were never truly yours? What if they were echoes picked up from a fearful world, repeated so often that you started believing them? That's all a belief is, a thought you've accepted and practiced. And if that's true, then you can create a new belief, a thought that serves you, a thought that blesses you, a thought that reminds you of who you really are underneath all the noise. You don't need to start from zero. You're not broken. You're not behind. You're not too late. You're just someone who's learning how to come home, back into trust, back into worthiness, back into peace, right now, as you are. So place your hand over your heart, my love. Feel the warmth there. That's you. That's your soul saying, I'm still here. And say gently, I am willing to trust myself again. I don't need to earn it. I don't need to prove it. I simply need to allow it. And now breathe that in. Let those words melt through the tension in your chest, through the self-doubt, through the old defenses that say it's not safe to trust. Yes, it is. It's safe now. You're not that scared little child anymore. You're not trapped in the past. You are the loving adult now. And you can be the one to create a sanctuary inside yourself, one thought at a time, one soft moment at a time. That's how it begins. And this is where the miracle starts. The moment you stop trying to control the world and start learning how to hold yourself. Let's talk about that mind of yours. Because if you've ever felt like you're stuck, like your patterns keep repeating no matter how hard you try, I want to show you something. It's not your fault, and it's not a life sentence. The truth is, most of what you think every day isn't even you thinking. It's programming. It's a pattern running on autopilot. And that pattern was installed long before you had the power to question it. Maybe someone told you that you were too much or not enough. Maybe someone ignored you when you needed them the most, or blamed you for things that weren't your fault. Maybe you watched people around you live in fear, and your little body learned that safety meant staying small, quiet, invisible. Whatever it was, those moments didn't just happen and disappear. They shaped your inner mirror. And now, without realizing it, you're still looking into that distorted mirror and saying, "This is who I am." But it's not. It never was. You don't have to live out someone else's old story. You don't have to carry their fear, their shame, their broken beliefs. You are not a sponge. You are a creator. You are not here to absorb pain, you are here to transform it. And you begin by questioning the thoughts that hurt you, not with judgment, not with panic, but with love. Ask yourself, is this really true? Do I have to believe this forever? Does this thought feed me or drain me? You will be amazed at how many of your most painful beliefs dissolve when you simply bring gentle awareness to them, like mist clearing in the morning sun. You are not obligated to keep repeating what wounded you. That's the beauty of being awake. You can choose again, over and over. And every new choice makes your inner world a little safer, a little brighter, a little more like home. Let me say this clearly, because you might need to hear it in a new way. You are not a victim of your mind. Your mind is a garden, and you are the gardener. Some weeds were planted without your consent, yes, but you're not powerless. You can dig them up. You can plant something new, not with force, not with pressure, but with presence and with repetition. What you repeat, you reinforce. So let's reinforce the truth. I am the loving thinker of my thoughts. I choose beliefs that nourish and support me. I release what no longer belongs to me. Say them softly, say them with care. These are not empty words, they are tools, seeds, keys. You don't need to conquer your mind. You just need to train it gently, like a loving parent guiding a child. And when the old thoughts arise, and they will, you don't need to panic. Just notice, breathe, and choose again. This is mastery. This is healing. This is freedom. So if your mind has been looping the same fear, the same what if, the same I'll never, then pause and remember, that's just an old echo playing itself out. It's not the voice of truth. It's not the voice of love. The voice of love is quieter, but it's always here. And it's saying to you now, come back, sweetheart. Come back to peace. You're safe to believe in yourself again. You don't have to rush. You don't have to fix it all today. You just have to start telling yourself a new story. A story where you are not trapped, but powerful. Not broken, but blooming. Not too late, but right on time. Because when you change the story you tell yourself, you change the life you wake up to. So take this breath with me and say with me, I recognize the beliefs that no longer serve me. I choose thoughts that support and nourish me. I am willing to trust myself again. Yes, you are. And life is ready to meet you right where you are. Let me share something else with you, my dear. It's something I want you to remember every time you feel pulled in a dozen directions. Every time you feel like you're spinning your energy outward, trying to please, trying to keep the peace, trying not to disappoint anyone. You were never meant to orbit around other people's approval. You were never meant to give your center away. You were meant to be the still point in your own life, grounded, loving, and steady. But somewhere along the way, so many of us were taught the opposite. We were taught to dim our light so others wouldn't feel insecure. We were taught to be the peacemakers, the fixers, the quiet ones, the agreeable ones. We were taught to read the room instead of reading our own hearts. And slowly, without realizing it, we started stepping outside of ourselves. We became side characters in our own lives. And we started believing that being good meant being invisible. But my love, that is not the truth. The truth is, the world doesn't need you to be smaller. The world needs you to be rooted, centered, whole. You are not here to live in reaction to what other people want from you. You are here to live in alignment with what your soul came to express. That means learning to return to yourself again and again, no matter how many times the world tries to pull you away. That means learning how to say, I don't have to shrink to be safe. I don't have to explain my light to those who aren't ready to see it. I don't have to twist myself into someone else's version of lovable. No, darling, you were already lovable from the beginning just by being you. Let's breathe into that truth together. Place your hand over your heart and say softly, I am no longer willing to shrink for comfort. I center myself in my own light. Breathe it in again. You see, when you are centered in yourself, you stop outsourcing your worth. You stop chasing validation. You stop negotiating your value based on how others treat you. And most of all, you stop abandoning yourself to belong because you realize something profound. True belonging doesn't come from being chosen by others. It comes from choosing yourself fully, daily, unapologetically. That's when everything begins to shift. That's when the world starts to respond differently, not because it changed, but because your energy did. And part of this shift is recognizing when you've made someone else the center of your universe. Maybe it was a partner, a parent, a friend. Maybe it was a job or a community or a voice in your head that you thought held the key to your value. And maybe you gave them a seat on a throne they never asked for, or maybe they demanded it. But here's the healing. You can take your power back, not with anger, not with blame, but with clarity. When you put someone on a pedestal, you are not loving them, you are abandoning yourself. You are saying, you get to define my worth. You get to decide if I'm enough. And that, my love, is far too much power to hand over to anyone. No one belongs on the altar of your soul but you and the divine. So gently, lovingly, bring yourself back to center. Bring your awareness back to your breath, to your heart, to the quiet voice that lives inside you, and say with me, I release the need to be chosen. I choose myself now. I choose my peace. I choose my power. Feel what happens in your body when you say that. Maybe a little resistance. Maybe a little grief. That's okay. It just means you're healing. You are breaking old contracts, old roles, old beliefs that said you only matter if someone else sees you. You are rewriting the agreement. I matter because I exist. I matter because I am me. You were never meant to compete for love. You were never meant to prove your worth by how well you contort. You are not here to audition for acceptance. You are the one who gets to accept yourself, and I promise you this. The moment you center yourself in love, not ego, not performance, not bravado, but in quiet, grounded love, the right people, the right opportunities, the right life starts aligning with that vibration. Because life responds to clarity. When you're clear about who you are and what you will no longer sacrifice, life becomes clear about what it brings to your door. And you may ask, but what if I lose people? And yes, sometimes that happens. But I want to tell you this gently: when you stop shrinking to fit someone else's comfort, the ones who only love the smaller version of you may leave, and that is okay. Let them go with grace. Because anyone who asks you to dim your light isn't loving the real you, they're loving their idea of you. And you don't need to betray your spirit to keep an idea alive. You are not here to be easy for others. You are here to be real for yourself. Let this be a new beginning, a sacred homecoming. You don't need to become anyone else's ideal. You don't need to dilute your power to be digestible. You don't need to wait for permission to stand in your truth. You are not a guest in your own life. You are the host. You are the radiant soul at the center of your own experience. And you don't need to yell to be heard. You don't need to perform to be loved. You don't need to explain why you are worthy. You are worthy because you exist. That's all. That's everything. So if you feel yourself slipping away into old habits, overgiving, over-explaining, overstretching, pause, breathe, return, and say, I come home to myself now. Say, I am not a fragment of who I used to be. I am whole. I am sovereign. I am centered. Let these words anchor you. Let them guide you back when the world gets loud. And remember, the more you honor your own light, the more you become a lighthouse for others, not by saving them, but by showing them what's possible when you stop abandoning yourself. You are not a reflection of other people's perception. You are not a mirror for their projections. You are not a container for their confusion. You are a soul, luminous, wise, powerful. And when you stop trying to make yourself smaller just to be accepted, you step into a space of true alignment. You start living from the inside out, and that's where the real freedom is. That's where your joy lives. That's where your peace flows, not from performance, but from presence. Let me leave you with these reminders so you can carry them with you as you move through your day. I do not shrink to fit into boxes I've outgrown. I do not ask for permission to be who I am. I do not confuse peace with silence or love with sacrifice. I am the center of my life. I am the root of my reality. I am whole and holy as I am. And one more time, breathe in. Let the breath fill the space where you once held shame. Exhale and release any need to be smaller than your spirit. You are ready now. You don't need to wait for a sign. You are the sign. You are the return. You are the sanctuary you've been searching for. Come back home to yourself and stay. What if the very thing you've been avoiding is the key? I mean that gently, my dear, not as an accusation, but as a loving invitation. What if the doorway you've been standing next to all this time, the one marked self-love, isn't just another concept or another idea you should get to eventually, but the very center of all your healing? Because I want to tell you something today that changed my entire life. Self-love is not a luxury. It is the foundation. Without it, everything else, every affirmation, every therapy session, every relationship, every success becomes shaky, unsustainable, or even painful. But with self-love, everything softens, everything aligns, everything begins to heal. You see, self-love is not ego. It is not vanity. It is not selfishness. It is spiritual truth. It is emotional maturity. It is your natural state before the world taught you to feel wrong. And if you've spent years or decades criticizing yourself, shaming yourself, pushing yourself too hard, or punishing your body with unkind thoughts, then I want to say this with all the love in my heart. You don't have to do that anymore. You are allowed to stop. You are allowed to lay down the whip. You are allowed to end the war inside your mind. You are allowed to make peace with the beautiful being that you already are not someday. Not once you've earned it, not when everything is perfect, but now, right now, that's where real healing begins. Let's start with something very simple and very powerful. Say with me, I approve of myself. Say it gently. Say it softly. Again, I approve of myself. One more time, please. I approve of myself. Did you feel that flutter of resistance? Or that subtle ache of disbelief? That's okay. That's your old programming. The voices of comparison, guilt, perfectionism, they might not leave right away, but the more you say this truth, the more they begin to loosen their grip. Every time you say, I approve of myself, you are building a new path in the brain. You are telling the inner child, I see you, I choose you, I will not abandon you again. And I want you to do this practice not once, but hundreds of times a day. Yes, you heard me, hundreds. Whisper it while brushing your teeth. Think it while walking down the street. Say it before sleep. Murmur it when you feel afraid. Let this phrase become the new heartbeat beneath your day. I approve of myself. Because here's what I know. No thought is neutral. Every thought either feeds fear or nurtures love. And this beautiful thought, is one of the most nourishing, strengthening, liberating thoughts you can ever think. It is a bridge. It is a balm. It is a return to truth. Now, I won't lie to you, darling. At first, your mind might argue. It might say things like, but I made mistakes. I haven't done enough. I should be better by now. And when that happens, don't fight it. Don't argue. Just listen kindly, and then gently say, I hear you, and I choose to let you go. You are not at war with your own mind. You are here to retrain it with love, not force. The mind is a faithful servant, but it's been taught many unkind things. So teach it something new. Teach it that love is safe, that approval is not a reward, it's your natural right, that being human is not a flaw, it's a miracle. Let me ask you this. Would you ever look into the eyes of a small child and say, you're not good enough yet? You don't deserve love until you get it all right? Of course not. Then why speak to yourself that way? Why treat your precious soul with such harshness? You don't need more discipline, you need more compassion. You don't need more shame, you need more softness. Because healing doesn't come through punishment. It comes through permission. Permission to rest, permission to feel, permission to be unfinished, permission to be lovable exactly as you are. I know some of you might be thinking, but if I approve of myself now, won't I stop growing? Oh, sweetheart, that is one of the oldest lies. Self-love doesn't stop growth, it fuels it. Because when you stop using shame as your motivation, you finally create space for authentic change. Real transformation comes not from hating who you are, but from falling in love with the person you've always been underneath the pain. That's why I call self-love the magic wand, because everything you touch from that place begins to shift, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. So let's speak it again. Let's affirm it with softness and strength. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. Breathe it in like fresh air. Let it echo through the corridors of your inner world. Let it soak into the places where doubt used to live. And if you feel tears rising, that's good. Let them come. You are not breaking down, you are breaking open. Your soul remembers these words. Your body knows their truth. And every repetition brings you one step closer to integration. You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to have all the answers. You don't need to fix your past. You just need to stop making yourself the enemy and start becoming your own friend, your own parent, your own inner ally. I promise you this, the moment you stop rejecting yourself, the world begins to mirror that new energy. Relationships become gentler, work becomes lighter, health becomes more responsive. Why? Because you've stopped sending the message, I'm broken, I need fixing, and started radiating, I am whole, I am healing, I am home. So, from this day on, let this be your practice. When you wake up, I approve of myself. When you face fear, I approve of myself. When the critic gets loud, I approve of myself. When you feel joy, I approve of myself. Say it until the walls of unworthiness collapse. Say it until your cells begin to hum with recognition. Say it until your life rearranges itself around this new truth, because it will. It always does. And in moments of pain, remember this. I am not my pain. I am not my past. I am not my patterns. I am the one who is learning to love through them. That's what approval means, not perfection, but presence. Not performance, but peace. Not force, but flow. You are becoming the safe place you always needed. And that, my dear, is the greatest gift you can ever give yourself. Let's close with this loop. Say it aloud with me, again and again, until it becomes part of your being. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I approve of myself. I am my greatest ally. I am safe with me. I am not waiting to be worthy. I am choosing to be whole now. I am choosing love every moment, every breath, every time I remember. And if all you do today is speak these words, that is more than enough. You are healing, you are rising, you are remembering who you really are. And it all begins with one gentle, powerful truth. I approve of myself. Now breathe into that space. Breathe gently, without forcing anything, without trying to fix or analyze or improve a single detail of who you are. Just breathe and allow yourself to feel what is there. So often when we talk about the past, the body tightens, the heart guards itself, and the mind rushes in with explanations, justifications, and old stories. But today I want you to do something different. Today I want you to stay. Stay with the feeling. Stay with the breath. Stay with yourself. Because the past only has power when we keep carrying it. And many of us have been carrying pain that never truly belonged to us in the first place. We learned very early how to hold on to hurt, how to store it in our bodies, how to replay it in our minds, thinking that remembering would somehow protect us. But all it really did was weigh us down. Holding on to old wounds is like carrying someone else's heavy suitcase everywhere you go, day after day, year after year, and wondering why you are so tired. Forgiveness is not about excusing what happened. It is not about saying that someone else was right. Forgiveness is simply the moment you decide that you no longer wish to live inside that pain. It is the moment you say, I choose my freedom. And freedom, my dear, is always an inside job. You do not need the other person to apologize. You do not need them to understand. You do not need to rewrite history. You only need to be willing to loosen your grip. When you are ready, even just a little, place one hand on your heart and let the other rest wherever your body feels it needs comfort. Feel the warmth of your own touch. This is important. Many of us waited a very long time for someone else to hold us, to see us, to soothe us. And now, here you are, finally able to offer that love to yourself. Imagine yourself as a small child, 5 years old or 6, standing in front of you. Look gently into this child's eyes. See the sensitivity there. See the longing to be loved, to be accepted, to be safe. This child did not want perfection. This child wanted connection. And so reach out now in your imagination and take this little one into your arms. Hold them the way you always needed to be held. Tell them softly, I love you. I am here. You did nothing wrong. You never deserved to be hurt. Feel how the body responds when you say those words. Feel the softening, the release, the quiet recognition. This is not fantasy. This is healing. The nervous system listens to kindness. The cells respond to safety. Now, when you are ready, imagine something else, something that may feel surprising at first. Picture your mother, not as the adult you knew, but as a small child herself, 4 years old or 5. See her fear, see her confusion, see the places where she did not receive what she needed. You are not doing this to excuse pain. You are doing this to understand it. Understanding dissolves resentment in ways anger never can. Gently hold this little girl too and say, "You were trying the best you knew how. You were afraid. I see that now." And let her soften. Let her rest. Then, in the same way, imagine your father as a small boy, frightened, uncertain, wanting approval, wanting love, not knowing how to ask for it. Hold him too. You do not need to speak many words. Presence is enough. Compassion is enough. As you do this, notice what happens inside you. Often, the tightest knots begin to loosen not when we blame, but when we see clearly. Forgiveness does not mean forgetting. It means remembering without reliving. It means reclaiming your energy. The past cannot be changed, but your relationship to it can. And when that changes, everything changes. Old patterns lose their grip. Old triggers lose their charge. The body begins to feel safer. The heart begins to open again. This is why forgiveness is such a profound act of self-love. You are not letting anyone off the hook. You are unhooking yourself. Say quietly now, even if your voice trembles, "I release the past. I choose love." Say it again, gently. I release the past. I choose love. And notice how different that feels from forcing yourself to be positive. This is not denial. This is choice. Forgiveness is a doorway, and on the other side of it is peace. Not the kind of peace that pretends nothing happened, but the kind that knows you survived, you learned, and you no longer need to bleed to remember. There may still be moments when old memories arise. That is natural. When they do, place your hand on your heart and remind yourself, that was then, this is now, I am safe. The body loves reassurance. Over time, it learns to trust again. And as trust returns, life begins to feel lighter. Relationships shift. Health improves. Joy becomes more accessible. Not because the world suddenly became perfect, but because you are no longer dragging yesterday into today. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It is a practice. Sometimes you forgive in layers. Sometimes you forgive and then forgive again. Be patient with yourself. Healing is not a race. It is a homecoming. Each time you choose compassion over resentment, you are choosing yourself. Each time you soften instead of harden, you are reclaiming your life force. Say these words now, slowly, letting them sink in. I let the past go. I forgive so that I may be free. Again, I let the past go. I forgive so that I may be free. And feel the truth of that statement, not in your head, but in your body. Freedom feels like breath. It feels like space. It feels like coming home to yourself after a very long journey. You were never meant to live imprisoned by old pain. You were meant to live, to love, to grow, to experience joy. Forgiveness opens the door to all of that, and you do not have to walk through it alone. You are guided. You are supported. You are learning how to love yourself in ways you were never taught. And that, my dear, is one of the bravest things a human being can do. As we close this moment together, rest in this knowing. The past is over. The lesson remains, but the suffering does not have to. You are allowed to move forward unburdened. You are allowed to be light. You are allowed to be free. Say it one last time, with kindness and certainty. I release the past. I choose love. I forgive, and I am free. And let that be enough for now. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you stopped trying so hard to earn your worth and simply allowed yourself to exist as you are? What if the very thing you've been avoiding, stillness, surrender, softness, is actually the golden key to everything you've ever longed for? My dear, there is a place inside you that already knows the answer, a place that has never been touched by fear or shame or scarcity. And it is from that quiet place that I want to speak to you today. You don't need to earn love. You don't need to prove your goodness. You don't need to make the universe notice you. The universe already knows you. It sees you. It breathes you. It supports you with every sunrise, every breath of air, every beat of your beautiful heart. So many of us grew up thinking we had to fight our way into belonging, that we had to outperform, over-please, over-apologize to be allowed to receive. But what if we were wrong? What if life is not a test, but a dance, and all it's asking is for you to stop bracing and start moving with it? When you trust the universe, you drop the heavy armor. You take off the mask of perfection. You no longer need every answer today, because you know the right answer will find you when you're ready to receive it. That is the beauty of this journey. The more you trust, the less you fear. The more you soften, the more you attract. The more you allow, the more flows to you naturally. When I say you are safe in the universe, I mean that with every fiber of my being. You are part of a rhythm far more intelligent and loving than the mind can understand. The seasons don't panic. The ocean doesn't rush. The stars don't compete. And you, my love, are made of the same stuff. So breathe with me. Feel how your body already knows how to let go. Let's say this together, slowly and gently. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. Again, I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. One more time, this time with your hand over your heart. I am safe in the universe, and all life loves and supports me. It's not always easy to believe that when life feels uncertain. But here's what I've learned. Peace doesn't come when all the questions are answered. It comes when you stop needing all the answers to feel okay. Trust is a practice. It is not a perfect state you reach one day. It is something you grow into, moment by moment. The more you practice saying yes to life, even when it's inconvenient or slow or different than you expected, the more peace you create in your nervous system, the more you open space for miracles. Struggle is not a spiritual badge of honor. You don't need to suffer to be worthy. You don't need to prove your loyalty through exhaustion. There is no prize, at the end of burnout. You are allowed to let it be easier. You are allowed to feel supported. You are allowed to trust the invisible, not blindly, but boldly. If you've been pushing against life, trying to control every outcome, I understand. That was me too. I used to try so hard to manipulate timing, to force things into being before they were ripe. But life has shown me again and again, when I step back and allow, when I let the energy flow instead of fighting it, doors open, people call, peace returns, miracles appear. You see, when we trust the universe, we're not giving up, we're giving over. We're surrendering the illusion that we're doing this alone. And that surrender is not weakness, it's spiritual maturity. It says, I know I'm supported. I choose to relax into that support. So try it now. Whisper to yourself, I trust the process of life to take care of me. Let the words sink in like warm light on your skin. I trust the process of life to take care of me. One more time. I trust the process of life to take care of me. I invite you to imagine something with me. Close your eyes, if you can. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a great river. You've been holding a heavy backpack full of fear, resistance, old beliefs, timelines, expectations. It's been weighing you down, but now you take it off. You place it on the riverbank. You step into the water barefoot. It's warm and gentle. It supports you. You don't need to swim or struggle. You float. And as you float, you feel light again. You remember, I was never meant to carry so much. I was meant to flow. This is how life is meant to feel, not perfect, but peaceful. Not rigid, but responsive. Not anxious, but aligned. Now breathe again. Feel the air blessing your lungs. Every inhale is life saying yes to you. Every exhale is permission to let go. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Let go of the urge to over-explain. Let go of the habit of rushing. You're not late. You're not lost. You're not behind. You are here, and here is sacred. When you choose peace over panic, trust over control, love over fear, you realign with the deepest truth of who you are. You are not here to struggle your way into joy. You are here to remember that joy is your natural state when you're not trying to survive a life that doesn't fit. So say it with me softly now. I release all need for struggle. I am at peace again. I release all need for struggle. I am at peace. And once more, like a gentle lullaby, I release all need for struggle. I am at peace. Even if your life has been difficult, even if you were taught that safety comes from control or earning love through perfection, I want you to know it's not your fault, but it is your power now. You have the power to choose differently, to pause, to soften, to rewire your nervous system for trust, to heal the places that only ever knew tension. You are safe now, and every day you trust life, that safety grows stronger. You'll start to notice signs, the right message at the right time, the money that comes when you almost gave up, the peace in your belly that doesn't make sense but feels so good. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations. The universe is listening. The question is, are you willing to receive? You are not meant to live in fear of what if. You are meant to live in curiosity of what now. This is the shift from anxiety to alignment, from proving to allowing, from control to trust. And trust, my dear, is the most magnetic energy you can emit. It tells life, I'm ready. I believe you love me. I'm open to miracles now. And life responds, yes, yes, yes. Let yourself rest in that vibration. Let yourself be cared for by something greater than your to-do list. Let yourself be loved just for existing. Not because you fixed yourself, not because you impressed anyone, but because you are you, and that is enough. Now take one final deep breath with me. Inhale love, exhale resistance, inhale peace, exhale control, inhale support, exhale struggle. And as you come back to your day, I want you to remember this truth. The more I trust, the more I receive, the more I soften, the more I attract, the more I allow, the more life flows through me. I am safe, I am supported, I am free. You can whisper it now, and again tonight, and again tomorrow. Healing happens not because you force it, but because you make space for it. And trust, gentle, holy trust, is the doorway. We've come nearly to the end of this journey together, and I want to thank you for staying with me, for staying with yourself. You've been gently peeling away layers, softening into truth, remembering who you really are. And now, my dear, it's time for something just as important as the healing itself, daily integration. Because healing isn't just one beautiful insight or a moving moment on a walk. It's what you repeat, it's what you practice, and it's what you choose in the first hour of your morning before the world can touch you. That first hour is sacred. It belongs to you and life, and how you spend it sets the tone for everything else. Each morning, your mind awakens in a soft, receptive brainwave state. The world hasn't fully downloaded into you yet. That precious in-between moment is when your subconscious is most open, and that's exactly where I want you to plant new seeds. Not fear, not I have to do this, but joy, kindness, direction, repetition of truth. If you've ever said, I want to feel different, then I want you to know the doorway is right here in how you start your day. You don't have to change your whole life overnight, but if you change your frequency in the first hour, everything else begins to change more easily, because now you're living from intention rather than reaction. And that, my dear, is a miracle. So I want to give you a simple practice. Gentle, consistent, beautiful, and yes, powerful. This is how I begin every morning, and it has carried me through the hardest seasons and helped me receive the most wonderful gifts. It starts with your breath, and it continues with your words. Right when you wake up, before you check your phone, before you respond to anyone, place your hand gently on your heart and whisper to yourself, this is my time. I love you. I'm listening. Just those 3 sentences. You can say them silently if someone else is near. The point is to return to yourself before you return to the world. Then, I want you to sit with a little journal or even just a scrap of paper, and write down 3 things you are grateful for. Don't make it complicated. I'm grateful for the pillow under my head. I'm grateful I get another chance to live today. I'm grateful I heard something yesterday that made me smile. These small entries create powerful shifts in the body. Gratitude is one of the highest emotional frequencies we can choose, and it magnetizes more of what you're ready to receive. When you express gratitude, you are telling life, I see the good. I welcome more. After your gratitude, I want you to speak or write 3 affirmations. These should feel warm, believable, and supportive, not forced. Some mornings, I simply say, I am safe. I trust life. I allow good things to come to me. Say them slowly. Let them land in your body. Breathe them in as if they were medicine, because they are. Affirmations don't work by magic alone. They work when they become familiar, when your mind starts to believe them more than it believes your fears. Now comes my favorite part, the mirror. I want you to go to the mirror. Yes, even if your hair is a mess, even if you feel tired, and gently smile at yourself. Look into your eyes, really see yourself, and say, good morning, I love you. You don't have to believe it all at once. You only have to be willing. That willingness opens the gate to healing. When you do this every day, greet yourself with kindness, bless your morning with presence, you become unstoppable. Not because life becomes perfect, but because you are no longer abandoning yourself. You are no longer starting your day in survival. You are starting it in love. And let me remind you, this doesn't have to take long. 3 minutes, 5 minutes, 10, if you have them. But what matters is the devotion. You see, the mind is a garden. If you don't plant your own flowers in the morning, the world will come and throw in weeds, so you must tend it, not with pressure, with care. You are worth that care. You are worth the first and best part of your own day. And when you live that way, when you prioritize your soul, you begin to see that the universe mirrors it right back to you. More peace, more synchronicity, more gentle surprises that feel like love notes from life itself. So what happens when you miss a day or 2 or a week? That's okay. There's no punishment here, only return. Return is the most sacred act. You always get to begin again. You are never too late to come home to yourself. The universe is not watching with a clock. It is watching with love. And every time you choose to reconnect, it rejoices. It expands with you. You are never alone in this process. Let's talk for a moment about why these small habits work so well. When you affirm something, when you write down gratitude, when you look at yourself with kindness, you're not just performing a routine. You are reprogramming your nervous system. You are creating new neural pathways that say, this is my truth now. You are calming old trauma responses. You are choosing peace before chaos has a chance to enter. You are saying, with every breath, I matter. My inner world matters. I choose love today. And here's something beautiful over time. This energy begins to ripple. You walk differently. You respond to others differently. You attract different people and opportunities. Not because you changed everything outside, but because you changed how you start. Your first hour creates a current that carries you through the day, and that current either lifts you or drowns you. You get to decide which it will be. So today and tomorrow and every morning after, I want you to remember this. You are allowed to start your day in peace. You are allowed to protect that first hour. You are allowed to begin with joy, with hope, with compassion. You don't owe anyone immediate access to your energy. You owe it to yourself to set the tone. And when you do, everything else begins to feel lighter. Let's close this part with a blessing, not from me, but from within you. Put your hand on your heart again. Take a breath in and let these words become your own. I bless this morning. I bless this body. I bless this moment. I begin in peace. I begin in love. I begin with presence. Today, I walk with grace. Say it again. Whisper it like a promise to your soul. Let it echo inside you. This is your time. This is your sacred hour. You deserve to feel good in your own life, and it all begins right here. If you're still here, if your heart has stayed open through all of this, then I want to say something very tender to you, something that perhaps you haven't heard in a long time. You haven't lost your faith. It's still there. It's just been buried under too many lies, too much noise, and too much trying. You don't need to force yourself to believe in yourself again. You only need to gently stop believing the opposite. That old voice that says you're not enough, that you've missed your chance, that something is wrong with you that's not your true voice, that's the voice of fear that has been speaking louder than your truth. But your truth, oh, it's still alive. It's still whispering in quiet moments. It's still glowing beneath the ashes. And right now, it is rising again. The universe has always believed in you. Life has been patiently waiting for you to come home to your own trust. You are not broken. You are not behind. And you are not late. You are right on time. Because this moment, this exact moment, is the perfect one to begin again. Not with a battle cry, but with a soft remembering. Let's take a breath together. A soft inhale of forgiveness, a slow exhale of pressure. Say with me now, I am trustworthy. I live in a friendly universe. I trust myself, and I trust the process of life. These are not just words, they are keys, and you've always had them. You've just been too hard on yourself to see that they were in your pocket all along. So let's end this journey the same way we began it, with love, with softness, with presence. You don't need to figure out your whole life tonight. You don't need to prove anything to anyone tomorrow. You are already enough. You have always been. Your job is not to fix yourself. Your job is to love yourself. The universe will handle the rest. Can you feel that soft shift already? That gentle quiet in your heart that says, maybe I really am safe. Maybe I really am supported. Maybe I really do belong here. That feeling that's you coming home to yourself. Now, I'd love for you to anchor this moment, just one gentle step. In the comments below, write this affirmation. I am trustworthy, and life supports me now. Write it to declare it. Write it to remember it. Write it so someone else scrolling through the comments can feel less alone and more seen. You are not the only one learning to trust again. And you are never walking this path alone. You are so deeply loved. And I am so proud of you. All is well. All is unfolding. All is here for your good.